So obviously ham radio has a lot of science associated with it. You have SWR and antenna theory and electronic theory and a whole lot of other math and hard science type stuff. But yet the FCC says, and I forgot the exact quote, but basically expanding the art of radio. Art? We're not doing art. There's a lot of science here. There is a lot of science, but there's also some art. And I think in some cases it takes you time to operate some before you understand that there is actually an art to it as well. And let me explain. So actually through here, I've gotten a couple questions on how do I contact so-and-so who is 300 miles away? How do I contact my family that is in the next town over? And great questions. And yes, ham radio can do that. But it depends. And we say it depends a lot. That is where the art comes in. The art is the experimentation. The art is the practice. And the trial and error in making it work. One could argue it's science, doing trial, error, experimentation, things like that. And you are correct. But it's also an art. Because you got to know the right time of day. You got to know the right settings. You got to have the right equipment to make it work. And that is where the experimentation and art comes into the hobby. So for instance, I could, on a normal night, the people I talk to on 80 meters every night, I can tell you this person is going to be loud, this person's going to be loud, this person is usually kind of sort of middle, this person's usually fairly quiet, and this person might be a little bit quieter than that. Well, last night, I barely heard any of them. Well, why is that? Different band conditions, different, potentially other factors. I also had noise. I was trying to drown out a little bit. Sorry, yawning. So that kind of affected my probably signal somewhat as well. And just all together, there's a certain amount of factors that came together. Well, you can say radio is art the same way that photography is art. Because there's a lot of science on how to get the picture that you want. But the art is knowing the right settings to put together to make the picture. And that is really where a lot of this comes in. So there is the art of radio. And you just never know what you are, how it's going to turn out. And that is the fun and frustration of radio. And that's why we are, there's a lot of science surrounding propagation. There's been a bunch of science around various astrological events, just to see how it affects radio propagation. So that is the art part of ham radio. 7 threes.